I did bring 3 professionals, Alex, Even, and Mark, and I suggest that they present themselves first, quickly.
Thank you. Alex, same as this morning. Cheap tickets, vliegwinkel, budget air. And in this case, as we're talking about payments and funnels, also bring in some experience from example bol.com and Thomas Cook, where we used certain methodologies to optimize it.
Okay. Even?
Hi, my name is Evan. I lead a digital design company called Soda Studio here in Amsterdam. And we specialize in very high usability and very much converting websites. So in the commercial and the financial sector, also a lot of in publishing. Maybe you know Nu.nl, that's quite a big one in Holland as a news company. Volkskrant, one of the most important newspapers here. That's our work. Actually, it's going to be launched after the summer. And we enjoy designing digital interfaces very much.
Hi, I am Mark. I'm the CEO of the company called Usabilla, innovative voice of customer software. We serve clients like Booking.com, Vodafone, Nike with our feedback solution.
Okay, thank you. So let me start by asking Alex what his view is on online checkouts in 2020. I really like to have some discussion with the audience. So what we do, I present Alex's statement now. So Alex, your statement, please.
Yeah, the main goal of a checkout in future will be data. Gathering data, use data. It's not about the checkout anymore. It's not about the transaction anymore. It's about gathering data. That's my idea.
Okay. Can I see some hands of you guys who agree with this statement?
No one.
Who doesn't agree? Okay. Thank you.
In this case, it was written down from a company's perspective. It was a company perspective. From a user perspective, it's always I want to get something.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Alex. Afterwards, we're gonna discuss. We start with discussing the most. The statement with the most interaction. Evan, your statement, please.
My statement is that the digital checkout and actually also the delivery of goods will be integrated into brick and mortar shops, so the normal shops in the street.
Is there any one of you who agrees with this statement? Please raise your hands.
So is that a lot or not? Is that the majority?
It's about half, I would say.
Okay.
And when do you think this will happen? Now? Well, I mean, what do you see in the market? Okay.
It's absolutely starting already. That's true. But I think that especially here in the Netherlands, where there's so much, let's say, digital coverage or internet coverage, it's going so fast with online shopping that a lot of shops probably they are sort of aware of the fact that half of all the buildings are empty, that there are no shops. But I think it's going to go even faster than that. And so I think they really need to integrate with the online, just to service that online checkout and online delivery or delivery of online bought goods gives. I think it's going to be very valuable for them to get that mix.
I
Would-
think a very nice example of that is Rabobank My Order. You might have seen in the Netherlands on the commercial on the television already, where you basically can already order goods from your phone, pay them, and they already bring your coffee to your table. And it's I read online it's now available for around 11,000 places already.
So if you look at, for example, is it mainly a cost thing, or would there be any other advantages?
No, I think it's a service thing. I think it helps me a lot if the company gives the service that I sort of am fond of when I shop online. It's also very helpful. I mean the groceries example is obviously a big one. Shopping for milk and stuff like that is going to be is already quite easy. There are already a lot of delivery, maybe not a lot of, but there's one very big delivery service here in the Netherlands called Albert. I must say, actually, I haven't used it yet. Maybe people in the audience did, but weekly.
On a weekly basis.
Yeah. But it's easy for me to order milk. I don't need to go to the shop and to have a comparison between milk. So it's an obvious example, of course, but it's the service that it gives me that I think is going to be very important. It's not so much a cost thing.
Okay, so from a user experience point of view, service is better in brick and mortar stores than online?
No, actually the other way around, I think. For me it is. I mean, obviously there are shops that have an interesting, they have interesting content and they have an interesting service, and they give me new ideas. Let's say clothing, something like that. You need some inspiration. Maybe also in the travel business, you sometimes need some inspiration. But for the rest, it's more of a nuisance to go to a shop than to than the other way around. And I mean, it should be something fun, and it's also a time-consuming thing. So,
Any reactions so far? No. Then yeah.
I think it's a great example. Did everybody hear it? Yes? No? No? Okay. I'll try to translate it or repeat it. You're saying from Nespresso point of view, a direct channel is actually a very important touch point in the life cycle of your product and your service. And I think it's a great example because you're actually, you're providing an extra service, something that you don't have or don't need when you're ordering another type of coffee. And if you, let's say, if we could make the switch to motorcycle cars, automobiles, Tesla, the electric company, interesting company as well, of course, they have a showroom like any other showroom, but they sell the product sort of digitally. They don't sell it. It's not sold by a car salesman. But probably they also need that kind of life cycle service, if I could name it like that. So there's definitely a role for how do you say, non-virtual service. I totally agree, and I love it. So yeah.
Just out of interest, how is Nespresso integrating on and offline? Okay, thanks. I would like to move on to Mark and with his statement for today.
Okay. My statement is on the screen already.
Yeah.
Okay. Digital wallets become smarter and will provide the key to a faster checkout. My wallet will contain all metadata and personal preferences to make online transactions more seamless. Who agrees with that? I think almost everyone.
Who doesn't agree? Okay, why not, Alex?
Yeah.
If you want to book a flight ticket, and in this flight ticket I need information like my real name, not my day-to-day name, my real passport details. Why should I put those details in a wallet that I use only once every 2-3 years? So this wallet is a lot of times not up to date to book a flight ticket. And that for me is the hurdle, and that's why for certain products I don't believe in it. I do believe in it for physical goods, for example, a Amazon or Bol.com delivering goods, I do believe in it. But for airline tickets, I think it's still difficult.
Yeah, but we're talking about the year 2020 here. So I want to give an example of the country Estonia, for example, and I know that because my wife is Estonian. They are way ahead on the whole internet thing than we are, and we are pretty far already. But what they have is every citizen in Estonia has an ID card, and the ID card they can identify themselves with it. But it also has a chip with all their details on it. And they can also book train tickets on it, they can book bus tickets, they can do their taxes, they can log in and see what kind of land they own, everything. So I think the main question might also be who's going to maintain this data? Because what you're talking about, privacy sensitive data, and so will it be banks, for example, who a lot of people trust, or after the whole crisis, the trust is, well, vanished a bit, or will it be the government who's going to hold a digital wallet which you can use in all kind of places?
I think it's not going to be banks, and not so much because of the trust, but because of the fact that they're. I've worked at one of them, and they're sort of dinosaurs. I mean, it's too large. It's too financially focused. It's not service focused. So I'm afraid it's not going to be a bank. And actually, maybe already 10 years ago, they were talking about ideas of a digital vault, you know, where you can save important documents, like a copy of your passport. But it's just too far out for people that work at a bank. No offense if you do work at a bank, but the central part of people working at a bank don't think about service, and they should, and they're sort of doing it, you know, based on all the crises we had. But it's not going to be fast enough. And actually, when I look at the Netherlands, there's the Digit ID, DigiD. Well, it's going slow, but well, it's sort of also getting somewhere. So I'm more interested in that than in the banks.
Yeah, but still, I think when I look at DigiD, they have issues, they have security issues. The government is not even capable of maintaining it well. It's a bleeder. So might be relevant for Estonia, but for the Netherlands, it's a long way to go.
It's a smaller country as well.
Yeah.
So.
Is that the reason?
I don't know. Well, if you have only 1.4 million citizens and you have to roll out something, and a lot of people are concentrated in the capital, of course, that's a bit different than when you have to do that for 60 million. But it might be a bit faster. I'm not sure. But you need it's a kind of mindset you need to have as a kind of country, and they just have that mindset.
Well,
I don't think we don't have that mindset yet.
What's the reason? How come they have that mindset?
They have a pretty young government. So that might be the mindset difference than we have. But
Yeah, but let's take your statement around. I think we can start today. I think we already started today. For physical goods, if you take a profile at Google, Amazon, eBay, Fastr, PayPal, why not use them for this physical goods and start today with easy shipments? You pay, for example, at bol.com, and with one click, your home delivery address is filled out, and you get it delivered. So, even with me negative about your statement, I still would strongly suggest positively start today, because there are opportunities for certain goods. Or digital delivery, same goes for there. Why not start delivering digital with based on a vault or a wallet?
Okay. If there's any questions, just raise your hand and we reach out to you. I just want to go back to Alex's statement, because there was no one actually who did agree with his statement, saying it's not about a payment, but it's about collecting data. Could you please tell a little bit more, Alex, about what you mean by that?
Yes, the idea behind it is that payment becomes a commodity, the transaction itself. It's fluent, it's easy, you just click, paid, and whether we use a wallet or we use a banking method, we don't have to think anymore.
But do you think we still use debit cards in 6 years, or is it all bitcoins?
I think it will be a hybrid, whatever the customer chooses in his wallet or chooses to use. But at least it will become very simple, very easy. And when we have that one in place, take for example the video that we saw this morning from eBay, where you can pay with your fingerprint. Easy, fast, simple. Then the checkout needs to have another goal, because otherwise you lose input for the customer life cycle. Take the Nespresso bit. Can we ask more questions about the customer? Can we collect more data about the customer in this payment steps? And then you get new value, new data, which is a currency for a company to grow upon. It's one of the statements by Chris Anderson in his book called Free, where he says you get, in this case, digital goods for free in exchange for data on which we can market you, on which we can approach you for other goods and services. And that was the reasoning behind it. And it's a teasing statement. I don't agree for every type of good with it, but for digital goods in a fast, simple checkout, data is the new currency. And these goods could be digital music. These goods could be digital books. And then you pay with your behavior.
So there's a question.
I agree. I didn't write this statement down from a user user experience point of view.
Well, I think
That's
there's also a user experience point of view connected to this, because if the shop knows everything about you and does have all your data, perhaps we're not browsing anymore in 2020, but we get input on what a merchant knows from you.
From a user experience point of view, it's a transaction. You get the goods or the service that you want to have. For example, this digital music. But if you want to have it as easy as possible, so you don't notice a transaction anymore, and that's, I think, the ultimate goal for a customer. And why should a company deliver it that you don't notice it anymore? And that, for me, is data.
Yeah, it's perhaps a good idea to ask the audience a few questions. Who of you did buy something online in the last 2 days? Okay. Is there anyone of you who was thinking of buying something online but dropped out in the process? Yeah. Why did you leave the process? Okay. But is there from the audience, are there any perhaps ideas how to make the process even better or much better? Yeah?
I've seen two examples of this one. One example is, you might have seen it on the web, where you get a white paper and you leave your credentials. That for me is a very simple one. That's where we can ask this data. The other one is, and this is a personal view, I don't know if they are going to, for example, take Netflix. Netflix, the cost of serving videos and movies will go next to nothing. The volume makes it very simple to acquire them. The only thing is they have to convince the movie studios. And when they've done that, when they track you and follow you, and it should be an opt-in. Let's start with that one. They don't have to ask questions anymore, because based on your behavior, they see that you look at music videos, they can start merchandising with music goods. If you look at Disney videos, they can start merchandising with Disney goods. But with an opt-in and with data, they can give you Netflix for free. Yeah, I agree. It's the step, it's the phase. But for me, then the funnel is a bigger one than just the click where you purchase. For me, it's the fact that data can be a currency. That's for me is the foundation of this point.
Yes. Is this a question for Alex? Yeah.
Thank you. And trying to translate your question to a bit more practical. We have a profile with Google, which helps us with a Google checkout. We've got a profile with Amazon, which helps us with an Amazon checkout. Now, based on your Google profile, you get Google recommendation. Based on Amazon, you get Amazon recommendation. Should I follow the Google recommendation, or should I follow the Amazon recommendation? I think that's your question translated a bit.
Well, I think we're not browsing anymore in 2020. I think we're learning from each other. And for example, if I know that Alex is a frequent flyer, and so I might follow Alex, and perhaps Alex is a reseller for KLM. So I might actually, I'm not browsing for cheap tickets anymore. I might do, but I could also perhaps it's more like a peer-to-peer kind of looking for your things, I guess. So I think browsing, we're not browsing anymore in 2020, or less than we're doing now.
I would rephrase this a bit differently. The party that will be the winner is the one who's most relevant with information to the customer. And because it's relevant information, it doesn't feel like browsing. Because it's relevant, it doesn't feel like I'm shopping. It feels like I got a relevant offer, whether it's Netflix or it's clothing.
That could be your peers, or that could be merged
Yes.
as well.
And if it's relevant, the one with the profile that will be the winner is the one who's capable of managing relevancy in different categories on the web. A tiny startup example could be Google Now. If they enhance Google Now in such a way that you just ask a question, I'd like to go somewhere tonight, and Google Now gives you an answer whether you go shopping, go out for dinner, go to the movies. It will predict based on algorithms what's relevant for you. And I think that profile might become the winner. And if payments is automatically linked to it, like the Google checkout, then it becomes easy. And then you don't have the feeling of browsing anymore. But whether we want it, based on privacy? Again, that's question number 2.
Well, there's a wonderful documentary about privacy. You guys should see its terms and conditions may apply. And have you seen it or?
No, but I know the name.
Well, privacy is dead. Anything? I would like to go back to. We have a few minutes left. I think perhaps only 2 minutes. I would like to go back to Mark because you said something about the data in your wallet. Is it all the data or just the basics? What do you think merchants will know from me in 2020?
Well, I think the issue is that all different type of merchants know something from you, but in the end you want to combine that. So if you buy something on Amazon, they can use that data to ship the goods to you. But if you shop on whatever really small clothing store, they also know they also get certain data from you. The question is where will it be stored, and then the whole privacy thing comes up again. So that is one of the biggest issues, and I think the whole fragmentation and the whole standardization, that are the biggest things that we need to solve in the upcoming years.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any more questions from the audience? No? Any more questions from Alex or Ivan or Mark?
Well, maybe.
Or suggestions?
Yeah, the whole data thing and the data as currency thing is actually, is sure very much interesting. Although I'm quite pessimistic about it. I hope you guys figure it out and make it really relevant, and actually maybe also personal curatorship is going to be still somehow important. But right now, at the moment, the whole relevancy thing isn't working at all, I think. I mean, let's say one small anecdote to finish off. My girlfriend, or actually my wife, it was her birthday. I went shopping for a bathing suit, swimsuit, bikini, stuff like that. I bought one, but still the next 2 weeks after that, in my browser, there are all these images of women in bathing suits, which are obviously beautiful women, but all my colleagues, all these girls behind me, and what's this, Evan? Well, yeah, I already bought the bathing suit, but still it stays there, and actually it stays there for quite a long time. You really need to skip the cookies.
Apple has solved this. If you looked at the last keynote 2 days ago, Apple, they have a family profile where you have one credit card, all your family members linked to it. And if you browse for a bathing suit, Apple knows it's for your wife and they stop nagging you. So please all switch to Apple, is what they say.
And you have a browser setting for that. It's the privacy.
The privacy setting.
Yeah, that
I've
works.
never heard of that one.
No. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks.